Welcome to Demolition Worker channel. Today we tackle the massive Norwegian epic, a true titan of the modern maritime engineering world. This giant vessel features an incredibly massive and boxy upper deck, which makes its center of gravity exceptionally high and dangerous. Because of this unique design, our primary demolition procedure today must start by carefully lowering the overall height of the structure. If we do not reduce this extreme height immediately, there is a severe risk that the ship might capsize on land. To execute this delicate operation safely, we are deploying a powerful pair of high-reach excavators to work in perfect harmony. These two mechanical beasts will operate completely parallel to each other, cutting both sides of the hull at the exact time. Maintaining perfect balance is absolutely critical here. Any slight mistake or uneven weight distribution could lead to a catastrophic structural failure. The hydraulic shears on these machines possess immense crushing power, specifically designed to obliterate thick, reinforced steel boxes with total ease. Every time the heavy metal jaws clamp down, they create a series of loud, dry cracking sounds echoing across the yard. Our ultimate goal is to safely bring down that colossal upper deck without compromising the stability of the entire lower hull. Before we tear her apart, let us appreciate the history of this legendary cruise ship and her countless journeys across oceans. For many years, she carried thousands of happy passengers across the globe, providing luxurious vacations and unforgettable memories on the seas. But now, her final destination is this dusty scrapyard, where her massive steel body will be recycled for future projects. As the morning sun rises over the industrial demolition site, our dedicated crew prepares their heavy equipment for the challenging day. Engineers carefully review the complex structural blueprints one last time, ensuring every single cut is calculated with absolute mathematical precision today. The sheer scale of the Norwegian epic is truly intimidating when you stand directly beneath her towering rusted steel hull plates. You can literally feel the heavy weight of the massive structure pressing down onto the reinforced concrete floor of the yard. Safety protocols are strictly enforced here. Every worker must maintain a safe distance while the giant excavators move into their positions. The operators inside the armored cabins take a deep breath. They know this specific task requires intense concentration and steady hands. Engines roar to life, filling the air with a deep, vibrating hum that signals the beginning of today's heavy demolition process. The first excavator slowly crawls along the port side, its massive steel tracks grinding heavily against the rough concrete yard surface. Simultaneously, the second machine moves into position on the starboard side, mirroring every single movement like a perfectly synchronized industrial dance. The long, articulated arms extend high into the sky, reaching towards the top edge of the massive, boxy upper deck structure. Communication between the two operators is vital. They constantly talk over the radio to ensure their movements remain perfectly aligned together. Even a delay of just a few seconds between their cuts could cause the giant ship to tilt dangerously to one side. The ground crew watches closely from a safe perimeter, using advanced laser measurement tools to monitor the exact angle of the ship. Sunlight reflects off the sharp steel teeth of the hydraulic shears, which are now hovering just inches away from the painted hull. The tension in the air is palpable. Everyone knows that the next few hours will determine the success of this dangerous operation. The chief engineer gives the final green light over the radio, signaling the operators to commence the coordinated double cutting sequence now. With a loud mechanical groan, the massive hydraulic jaws open wide, ready to bite into the thick exterior walls of the vessel. The portside excavator strikes first. Its powerful shears, right through the outer steel plating with a violent, deafening metallic crunch. Almost immediately, the starboard machine matches the action, biting deep into the corresponding section on the opposite side of the massive hull. Thick shards of broken metal and shattered glass rain down from the upper deck, crashing violently onto the dusty yard floor below. Dust clouds begin to billow out from fresh wounds in the ship, catching the bright sunlight in a chaotic, swirling mist. The operators skillfully manipulate their joysticks, twisting and pulling the giant metal jaws to rip away large chunks of the reinforced superstructure. We can see the complex internal framework of the ship exposed for the very first time, revealing endless pipes and broken wires. Every single movement is calculated to maintain the delicate equilibrium of the vessel, preventing any sudden shifts in its massive overall weight. The sheer force required to tear apart these thick steel walls is absolutely mind-boggling, yet these machines handle it with ease. As the cuts grow deeper, the structural integrity of the upper deck becomes increasingly compromised, making the entire operation much more dangerous. The sound of tearing metal echoes relentlessly across the demolition yard, a harsh symphony of destruction played by two giant mechanical monsters. Water from suppression hoses sprays continuously over the active cutting zones, effectively keeping the dangerous industrial dust clouds under strict environmental control. The hydraulic shears encounter a highly reinforced steel support beam, requiring maximum engine power to slowly crush through the incredibly dense material. Sparks fly wildly into the air as the immense friction between the hardened cutting teeth and the ship frame generates intense heat. Both excavators simultaneously pull backward, tearing away massive 50-ton sections of the outer wall and exposing the luxurious abandoned passenger cabins. The strange sight of ruined hotel rooms hanging precariously in the open air serves as a surreal reminder of the ship's past. We must quickly clear away the falling debris from the ground to ensure the tracks of the excavators remain completely unobstructed today. A large front-end loader rushes into the danger zone, rapidly scooping up the jagged metal scraps and moving them safely away. With the ground cleared, the high-reach excavators advance further inward, their long metallic necks stretching deeper into the beast. They target the main vertical support columns next, which are the primary structures holding the massive weight of the boxy upper deck. Slicing through these vital columns requires extreme precision, as cutting them unevenly could instantly trigger an uncontrollable and deadly asymmetrical structural collapse. The portside operator radios his partner, confirming that he has successfully severed his designated support pillar completely through to the core. The starboard operator acknowledges the message and immediately finishes his own cut, ensuring the heavy load remains perfectly balanced across the hull. A sudden, terrifying groan reverberates through the entire length of the ship as the massive upper deck slightly shifts its enormous weight. The ground crew holds their collective breath, watching the laser monitors closely to verify that the vessel is not tilting dangerously sideways. The measurements confirm that the ship remains perfectly stable, proving that our careful, synchronized cutting strategy is working exactly as originally planned. However, the job is far from over. There are still several massive steel boxes reinforcing the central core of the upper structure. These central boxes are constructed from the thickest marine-grade steel, designed specifically to withstand the brutal force of massive ocean waves. The excavators reposition themselves, aiming their heavy hydraulic shears directly at these stubborn central reinforcements to deliver the final devastating mechanical blows. The jaws clamp down hard, but the incredibly tough steel resists the initial crushing force, forcing the machines to increase their pressure. Finally, with a loud explosive crack that sounds like a gunshot, the thick steel box completely buckles and shatters under the strain. That explosive sound is music to our ears. It means the structural resistance of the upper deck is finally beginning to fail. The twin excavators continue their relentless assault, moving methodically from one heavy steel box to the next with brutal and ruthless efficiency. Section by section, The rigid framework of the Norwegian epic is systematically dismantled, turning a once mighty vessel into jagged scrap metal. The sheer volume of material being removed is staggering. Giant piles of twisted steel are rapidly growing around the base. We are now approaching the most critical moment of the entire demolition process. Only a few main pillars remain holding the deck. The operators must exercise extreme caution here. One wrong move could bring thousands of tons of steel crashing down in unpredictable directions. They carefully align their shears on the final two support columns, preparing to make the ultimate synchronized cut that will end this. The chief engineer counts down over the radio. 3, 2, 1, cut. The giant jaws simultaneously bite into the last remaining pillars. The hydraulic pressure gauges spike to their absolute maximum limits as the machines struggle to slice through the final layers of steel. A series of sharp popping noises echo loudly as the massive steel bolts snap under the immense mechanical pressure today. The final pillars are completely severed for a brief, terrifying second. The massive boxy upper deck seems to just float in midair. Then, gravity finally takes total control. The colossal steel structure begins its slow, unstoppable towards the hard concrete yard floor below. The two high-reach excavators quickly reverse their tracks, rapidly backing away from the falling debris to ensure their own complete safety. As the enormous deck drops, it tears away remaining attached cables and pipes, creating a spectacular visual display of pure industrial destruction. The sheer momentum of the falling mass is truly terrifying. Thousands of tons of heavy metal are hurtling downward incredibly fast. Time seems to slow down as the giant structure approaches the ground, casting a massive, dark shadow over the entire demolition site. The air is violently pushed out by the falling deck, creating a strong, sudden gust of wind that sweeps across the yard. Workers brace themselves for the inevitable impact, covering their ears to protect against the deafening noise that is about to hit them. The leading edge of the upper deck finally makes violent contact with the lower hull, violently crushing the remaining cabins beneath it. A massive shockwave ripples through the steel body of the Norwegian epic, visibly vibrating the massive hull plates from bow to stern. The entire upper structure slams down with apocalyptic force, instantly flattening everything in its path and generating an absolutely massive dust cloud. The deafening roar of the impact is incredibly loud, sounding exactly like a massive explosion going off right in the demolition yard. The ground violently shakes beneath our feet. It genuinely feels as though a minor earthquake has just struck the entire industrial facility. Thick, impenetrable clouds of brown dust and gray smoke completely engulf the ship, temporarily hiding the spectacular aftermath of the massive collapse. The powerful vibration travels through the concrete floor, rattling the windows of the nearby site offices and echoing across the entire harbor. Slowly, the heavy dust begins to settle, revealing the dramatically altered silhouette of the once towering and majestic Norwegian epic cruise ship. The incredibly dangerous, boxy upper deck has been successfully brought down to a safe, manageable height without causing any unwanted structural tilting. Our perfectly synchronized dual excavator strategy worked absolutely flawlessly, proving the high skill and deep experience of our dedicated heavy demolition crew. The destroyed upper deck now rests securely on the lower hull, completely eliminating the terrifying risk of the massive vessel capsizing here. The ground crew cautiously approaches the settlement zone, using their advanced sensors to confirm that the remaining structure is completely stable now. With the massive center of gravity safely lowered, the rest of the ship dismantling process can proceed with much greater speed tomorrow. The twin excavators proudly stand beside their massive kill, their sharp metal jaws still dripping with the dusty remnants of crushed steel. This incredible operation beautifully highlights the immense power of modern heavy machinery and the brilliant engineering minds that carefully direct their actions. The Norwegian epic may be broken today, but her high-quality steel will be melted down and reborn into something entirely new. We have successfully conquered one of the most challenging demolition tasks ever attempted in this yard, ensuring total safety for everyone involved. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey of heavy industrial destruction, witnessing the incredible power of massive mechanical engineering today. Please subscribe to Demolition Worker channel for more epic, ship-breaking content. Thank you for watching and see you next time.